I'm Royal Palmer. This is my husband, Tony Palmer. We moved here in January of 2020 to purchase the Driftless Market. My sister Robin has been a longtime resident of Platteville, and she actually convinced us to move from Minneapolis down to Platteville to be able to
buy the market.
Buy this store. We live down on Main Street as well, so we're fully engrossed in the Platteville lifestyle. We live just a few blocks down the road from Driftless Market, and yeah, we're living the Platteville life. Well, what motivated me most, I guess, to purchase Driftless Market was really the idea of being part of a community. I was working in corporate America at Target, working in international logistics, and quite frankly, it was boring me. It was kind of just eating me alive because I just felt like I'm not contributing to the betterment of humankind, in my opinion. So I needed to do something really more tangible. And when Robin came to me with the idea of purchasing Driftless Market and explained to me that the previous owners were, a lesbian couple, I was like, okay, so maybe this is something that I can make an impact in this little town, as far as feeling like I'm contributing to, community in general. And so coming down here, it was really like, we want to make a safe space for people who feel like they are maybe part of the outskirts of the popular crowd, or minorities, specifically LGBTQ youth, making sure that they feel like they have representation in rural America. And I grew up in a tiny town, Pepin, Wisconsin, and they had less than 1,000 people, so you can imagine just how confusing it is to be a young kid who knows that he's gay but doesn't see anything that resembles what he imagines his life to be like. So when this opportunity came around, I was like, Tony, what do you think? He has the management experience from working as a manager at a downtown coffee shop in Minneapolis.
I mean, I loved living in Minneapolis, but I wanted a different pace. I grew up in a town in northern Minnesota named Brainerd, and it's about the size of Platteville, but we have a community college rather than a university. And I just wanted that, but I didn't want my hometown. So it was like, too many people know me there, I know too many people there. So meeting Royal's sister and knowing that she wanted us to come by the store, it just felt like the right pace. We were just in downtown Minneapolis in an apartment with our dog that we own. But it was just very mundane.
The apartment, also the dog.
Yeah. We just felt like it was mundane and we wanted to do more. He definitely felt like a part of a machine, and I just felt like bored. So we wanted to, weirdly enough, we were like, let's slow down, and now we're busier than ever. I think the coolest thing in our store probably is our bulk section, which was, I've never even heard of a bulk section until I walked into the Driftless Market 2 years ago, and it is just awesome. There's so many things you can get in there. You pay a completely different cost to what you would normally get. My favorite experience was a customer came in with a jar of cinnamon, an empty jar, and they said, I want to fill this jar of cinnamon. I got this for $7 at another store. And I filled that jar and it cost her 71 cents. The same amount of cinnamon.
I would say the coolest thing I think is about the store is our soup. And I say that with a little bit of bias because I usually make them. And so I want to, promote them as much as possible. But what we do is we don't just make fresh soup and salads here. We offer sandwiches and stuff as well. But what our whole goal is behind making soup is that any produce that isn't necessarily sellable anymore, maybe there's a little bit of a blemish on a potato, or an onion has a little blemish on it, we'll actually save that for a soup and cut off the bad part, and actually then we'll make a stock a lot of times out of all of the excess parts of the vegetable that we don't normally cook with, and we can use that as the stock to actually make the soup. And so it's all really just kind of using every scrap that you can find to make sure that we're not wasting food. And so the soup is delicious, but it's also super sustainable because we're using ingredients that normally other places would use fresh and just buy for the soup, but we're using the fresh ingredients that aren't sellable. So
The ugly onion that's not even bad, but just no one's picking it up.
right. So part of that is that we have a dining space to eat your soup and your sandwiches and your salads up here in the upper part of the store. It's a 2-story building. And a lot of people don't realize that we have a whole dining space upstairs as well as retail, which is including art, t-shirts, books, lots of pottery, and behind me here is actually our main dining space, which at the moment right now is a little bit more space. We can usually fit a few more tables in here, but right now we're just keeping it limited. And then we have the space also usable for private parties. One of the reasons I was attracted to moving to Platteville was because of the Driftless region specifically being so unique. I think the main goal is to really let people know that Driftless Market is more than just a small grocery store. We are multifaceted. We have art, we have books, we have fresh food, hot food, and we also offer that experience of private parties. So I think it's just about making sure that people know about that.
Yeah.